museum. There's so much that we can learn about the history of man. You'll see King Tut, a dinosaur, Caesar the Roman emperor, paintings and some sculpture, and a prehistoric man. There's a goblet that will dazzle you, a crazy couch with a mouse or two, Greek and Roman pillars, and some songs to make you smile. Take the tour with Gus, and you'll see when we all go to the museum. All the cyberbugs will be there, you can meet them when we all go to the museum. Click. Bleh, 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 bleh. Okay, there are dinosaurs and caves to see as you walk through prehistory. Step right up, drop your spear, come on in, there's nothing to fear in the prehistoric cave. Long before the modern age, just fossils and bones, no bottles and cans, I'm a prehistoric man. There's a T-Rex, baby Rex, pterodactyl, what the heck, a big volcano gonna blow its top. And don't forget the Triceratops, a big two sticks, rub them together, looks like there might be a change in the weather, so light that fire before you retire. Pre-mama, pre-baby, hand in hand, I'm a prehistoric man.
Welcome to the Prehistoric Kiosk. You will see lots of wonderful pictures of dinosaurs and fossils in here, as well as learn some very interesting things about these phenomenal animals that roamed the earth a long time ago. To begin, just click here to start. It is believed that Tyrannosaurus rex may have hunted for food in family groups. A father and mother may have traveled with 2 or 3 adolescents and their baby. Until recently, Tyrannosaurus rex, which means tyrant king lizard, was thought to be the largest carnivore that ever lived. A carnivore is an animal that eats meat. Tyrannosaurus rex is of the Tyrannosauridae family and was usually over 40 feet long, 20 feet high, and weighed more than an elephant. Everything about Tyrannosaurus rex was big, except its arms. They were too short to reach its mouth, too weak to grip, and only had 2 claws. No one knows why. Triceratops was of the Ceratopian family, and its name means 3-horn face. These dinosaurs had a strong protective covering, 3 long horns coming out of its head and a big bony neck shield. They weighed about 11 tons, were 30 feet long, and their sharp horns were more than 3 feet long. They were fast runners and traveled in groups or herds, like buffalo, all over North America and Asia. The long horns you see on Triceratops' head and big neck frills were used to challenge enemies or trick rival males into thinking they were larger than they were. Some members of the pterodactyl family had fur, which covered their bodies but not their wings. Some species of pterodactyl had long, skinny tails, like lizards, with a small, flat rudder at the end to make fast, agile turns. Some members of the pterodactyl family had fur, which covered their bodies but not their wings. Brontosaurus is the most famous member of its large family, the sauropods. Many scientists now call the Brontosaurus an Apatosaurus. These animals were 70 feet long and weighed 30 tons. Brontosauruses were long-necked herbivores that searched for food in trees. Herbivores are like vegetarians. They eat only plants. Brontosauruses fed on very tall, leafy fern trees. At the end of the Jurassic period, flowering plants grew, crowding out the fern trees, which caused Brontosauruses to die off. Stegosauruses had a double row of plates on its back. Remains have been found in North America, but the plates had never been found attached to the skeleton, so no one knows for certain what the Stegosauruses looked like in real life. Hadrosaur means big lizard. Hadrosaurs were 30 to 40 feet long, about 10 to 13 feet tall, and weighed 4 to 5 tons. Some had snouts that could make loud trumpet-like honks. There were many different kinds of hadrosaurs, and they traveled in big groups called herds. A big Spinosaurus was as large as an average Tyrannosaurus rex. If you look closely, the Spinosaurus had a back that looked like the sail of a boat. With the added weight of this back sail, the 2 animals weighed about the same. The Spinosaurus, or spiny lizard, is of the family Spinosauridae and lived in Africa, Egypt, and Niger. The Spinosaurus was a meat-eater and had a back that looked like a sailboat. Though it probably spent most of its time on all 4 feet, it could also run fast on its hind legs. Struthiomimus was of the family Ornithomimidae, and their name means ostrich mimic because it looked like an ostrich. Remains have been found in Alberta, Canada, and New Jersey. Like modern ostriches, Struthiomimus probably lived on the flat plains. Its sharp eyes could see predators or spot bugs and lizards in the grass. Struthiomimus may have lived in pairs, with their babies or chicks, and they may have moved in larger groups like modern ostriches. Velociraptor had light, speedy bodies with big, heavy head and jaws. They were carnivores and probably hunted in groups or packs. Velociraptor was of the family Dromaeosaur, and their name means speedy thief. Their bones were mainly found in North America and northern China. They had many sharp teeth, grasping hands, and big brains. The second toe on each foot had a big curved claw. Once a skeleton has become fossilized, they can become very brittle and break. Plaster is often poured over the fossil to create a jacket, so they can be moved safely to laboratories for further study. It is believed that right before dinosaurs roamed the earth, low-growing plants, like the fern, covered the ground. The teeth of T-Rex were 6 inches long and jagged like a steak knife, so they cut better.
Step right up, drop your spear. Come on in, there's nothing to fear in the prehistoric cave. Long before the modern age, just fossils and bones, no bottles and cans. I'm a prehistoric man. There's a T-Rex, baby Rex, pterodactyl, what the heck? A big volcano gonna blow its top. And don't forget the Triceratops. I picked 2 sticks, rub them together. Looks like there might be a change in the weather, so light that fire before you retire. Pre-mama, pre-baby, hand in hand, I'm a prehistoric man.
Here I am as a Triceratops. The name Triceratops means 3-horned face. With these horns and the large bony shield, my head is almost as big as the rest of my body. Now that's a big head.
Can you spot it? Once you've got it, pick a dinosaur, then drag and pop it, put it in the background. If you match it, it'll hang around. Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, dinosaur friends, can you spot them again? Can you spot them again? Yeah. Hey, buds, can you spot a T-Rex or a Triceratops? How about a Hadrosaurus? I bet you can. There are 3 dinosaurs hidden in each picture. First, look at the dinosaurs below. Now, see if you can spot any of them in the picture. When you spot it, just drag it up and plop it onto the other one. Step right up, drop your spear. Come on in, there's nothing to fear in the prehistoric cave. Long before the modern age.
La 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 la.
Learning how to control fire was a major step in the development of man. With this control, they could keep warm, have light, cook food, and eventually learn to melt and reform metal, which led to the creation of more advanced tools.
Here's the puzzle, you don't have to hustle. Take a little time and flex your muscles. Drag a piece and put it in. If it's correct, it'll snap right in. Stegosaurus, brontosaurus, dinosaur friends, come play the puzzle again. Come play the puzzle again. Yeah! Dinosaur puzzles are my favorite. To complete a puzzle, just drag and plop the different pieces into the square and try to put them together to form a picture. The puzzle piece will snap in and highlight when you have placed it correctly on the square. To see what the puzzle will look like when it's done, press and hold your mouse down on the small picture above the square. When you let go of the mouse, the large picture will disappear. Step right up, drop your spear. Come on in, there's nothing to fear in the prehistoric cave. Long before the modern
Some logs become petrified, which means they turn into stone. This process takes millions of years, while minerals seep into the pores of wood and cause it to crystallize. So, it turns out you can teach an old log new tricks.
Can you match it? Once you have it, pick a dinosaur, go ahead and drag it, put it in the him again? Can you match him again? Yeah! Hey, buds! Ready to match some dinosaurs? First, look at the dinosaur in the picture. Then try to find the same dinosaur from below and drag it up and plop it onto the other one.
Stegosaurus.
Step right up, drop your spear. Come on in, there's nothing to fear in the prehistoric cave. Long before the Okay, a pad and pen you should bring to the modern art wing. You can take a stroll through the 20th century. Soup cans and lily pads, circles and cubes. How can an artist see things so differently? What's your impression of the colors they used? Mobiles and statues, how very interesting. The thinker is wondering if he'll ever get some food. Picasso drew a guitar, Andy Warhol drew a superstar. Please speak softly, it's an old museum rule. Artwork created in the 20th century is full of surprises for the cyberbuds and you.
Welcome to the Modern Art Kiosk. Click here to see art from the Impressionist period. Click here to see the modern art from the 20th century. Asparagus by Auguste Manet, painted in the year 1880. Dancer with Bouquet by Edgar Degas, painted in the year 1878. Girl with Parasol by Auguste Renoir, painted in the year 1883. Giverny by Claude Monet, painted in the year 1902. Haystack in Snow by Claude Monet, painted in the year 1890. Les Trois Huttes by Paul Gauguin, painted in the year 1886. The Luncheon of the Boating Party by Auguste Renoir, painted in the year 1881. The River Epte by Claude Monet, painted in the year 1890. Segatory by Vincent van Gogh, painted in the year 1887. Still Life by Claude Monet, painted in the year 1880. Sunday Afternoon on the Island of the Grand Jatte by George Seurat, painted between the years 1884 and 1886.
You can take a stroll through the 20th century. Soup cans and lily pads, circles and cubes. How can an artist see things so differently? What's your impression of the colors they used? Mobiles and statues, how very interesting. The thinker is wondering if he'll ever get some food. Picasso drew a guitar, Andy Warhol drew a superstar. Please speak softly, it's an old museum rule. Artwork created in the 20th century is full of surprises for the cyberbuds and you.
Alexander Calder was a sculptor who did mobiles like this one. He was considered a kinetic artist, which means that he made art that moved. Assemblage artists like to take things that they found around them and put them together to make a piece of art. Ah, my latest masterpiece! Andy Warhol was a pop artist who painted objects from everyday life. He painted soup cans, shoes, and all sorts of things you find around your house.
Geometric artists use all sorts of different shapes to create their art. Geometric artists use all sorts of different shapes to create their art.
Surreal artists create works of art that look a lot like this. They make pictures that look like they came from a dream.
Auguste Rodin made a large bronze sculpture in the year 1880 that looked an awful lot like me. The name of his sculpture is The Thinker.
Hey, kids, come on in and check out all the treasures of ancient Egypt. Okay, I'll guarantee you'll smile when you visit Egypt and the Nile.
There is a golden dog, there is a golden cat in the Egyptian section of the museum. See all the hieroglyphics, the pyramid is terrific. Oh, how the jewels sparkle, wait till you see 'em. Treasures from long ago, the Sphinx with eyes that glow. You can play tic-tac-toe Oh, and that's not all. The sun and the clouds roll by. See the animals and the magic eyes. The cyberbuds and Gus, oh my, will have us a ball. The sarcophagus will do its dance. The snake will put you in a trance in the Egyptian section of the museum.
Welcome to the Egyptian kiosk. You will see lots of beautiful pictures and statues in here, as well as learn some very interesting things about the ancient Egyptians. To begin, just click on the Start button. If you'd like to hear more information about the picture you see, just click on the More button. You can also move forwards and backwards by using the arrow buttons. Anubis was believed to guard and keep safe those that died. This picture shows Anubis weighing the heart of a dead Egyptian. According to Egyptian legend, if the heart weighed less than a feather, the person would be accepted into the afterlife, and Anubis would lead them there. Each scroll from the Book of the Dead was written in hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics was Egyptian written language. Egyptians had close to 3,000 hieroglyphs. Some stood for letters, some for parts of words, some for whole words, and some for groups of words. In this picture, the king, wearing a gold crown, is shown with his arm raised high above his enemy's head in a sign of victory. Egyptians usually went barefoot, but there were many who also wore sandals made out of papyrus reed. The Egyptians enjoyed elaborate color and decoration in their buildings. The pillars in this courtyard were built to look like giant reeds of papyrus plant. Osiris was the most powerful of the Egyptian gods. His name may mean place of the eye. If you look closely, you can see Osiris's eye. Osiris is usually shown dressed in white, but Egyptians would also draw him in the shape of a stalk of corn. The manat that Hathor is wearing around her neck was made out of several rows of beads gathered in the middle. It was believed that the manat was a good luck charm and kept a person healthy. Egyptian men and women usually cut their hair short or shaved their heads and wore black wigs. The thick wigs helped protect their heads from the bright sun. King Tutankhamun, the boy king, is always pictured wearing a hat. Headdresses like the cat were made out of striped linen. Statues like this one were made out of bronze or marble. Palettes, often made of slate, were used as surfaces upon which to grind the malachite, until it was fine enough to apply around the eyes. This is a statue of Queen Hatshepsut, Egypt's first female ruler. She was known to be a powerful ruler. Queen Hatshepsut restored many temples in Egypt that were in ruins and built a beautiful temple in honor of herself at Deir el-Bahari. This is a picture of the Egyptian goddess Taweret. Taweret is usually shown in the shape of a hippopotamus. Headdresses had many different meanings. Blue helmets, like those seen in this picture, were worn by warriors in battle. Anubis was believed to guard and keep safe those that died.
There is a golden dog, there is a golden cat in the Egyptian section of the museum. See all the hieroglyphics, the pyramid is terrific.
If my mummy were an Egyptian queen, I would be a very well-decorated princess. I would wear shiny gems and beautifully colored clothes.
The papyrus plant was very important to the Egyptian people because it was the only big, hardy plant that grew in their dry climate. Papyrus was used for paper, for building houses and public buildings, and for making boats.
The Egyptian people studied the stars and the Nile River to create a calendar that has 365 days in a year and 24 hours in a day. This basically is the same calendar we use today.
There is a golden dog, there is a golden cat in the Egyptian section of the museum. See all the hieroglyphics, the pyramid is terrific. Oh, how the jewels sparkle, wait till you see 'em. Treasures from long ago, the Sphinx with eyes that glow. You can play tic-tac-toe and that's not all. The sun and the clouds roll by, see the animals and the magic eyes. The cyberbugs and Gus, oh my, will have us a ball. The sarcophagus will do its dance, the snake will put you in a trance in the Egyptian section of the museum.
Hey, you a golden retriever?
Goblet, goblet, goblet. Goblet, goblet, goblet.
Oops. Oops.
Okay, let's take a peek at the Roman and the Greek.
In the Greek and the Roman period, they did everything under the sun. A Grecian galley boat sailed by and chariot races were run. See the wooden coins and the statues make noise, the helmets and the shields are fun. Zeus worked out till he looked quite stout, and Brutus had a big loud mouth. The Trojan horse is famous, of course, and Caesar had a wonderful son.
Welcome to the Greek and Roman kiosk. Click here to see Greek images. Click here to see Roman images. Click Philosopher in Greek means lover of wisdom. Plato and Aristotle are famous Greek philosophers. In the early days of theater, all the characters in the plays were acted out by men wearing masks. The men even played the female roles. The Greeks were the ones who invented theater. The stage area always had elaborate backdrops made of marble arches and statues. The Parthenon is dedicated to the Greek goddess Athena. Athena was the Greek goddess of war. Wherever the Greeks settled, they would build a city-state or polis. Every polis had beautiful temples, like the Temple of Hera. As the Greeks built these temples and expanded their colonies, they spread their art and culture to other countries. Before columns were invented, Greeks used large tree trunks to hold up their roofs. Eventually, they carved stone into the shape of a tree trunk. Even now, you can see how large columns look a bit like a tree trunk. The ancient Greek world was made up of hundreds of independent city-states. A Greek state was called a polis. Many city-states were tiny, with only a few hundred citizens. Greek architects invented three styles of architecture that can still be seen today: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. These names refer to the way the columns and the details in the building look. The Temple of Athena Nike is a small temple that is part of a big hill in Athens called the Acropolis. Philosopher in Greek means lover of wisdom. Plato and Aristotle are famous Greek philosophers. Roman engineers built water supply systems called aqueducts. Aqueducts are large bridge-like structures that bring water into places that don't have any other water source. The Romans built arches, like the Arch of Constantine, as a way of celebrating a military victory. The images carved on the sides of the arch show the stories of the wars. This silver Roman coin shows the head of Emperor Alexander, who ruled Rome in 222 AD. The Roman Colosseum is a famous arena in the middle of Rome that was used for chariot races and circus performances. Romans loved to go to the Colosseum to see a show or circus. When the Colosseum was new, it had special floors made of heavy wooden planks. Under these floors were rooms that held animals, like lions and bears, for the circus. The animals were passed from these rooms through special halls and elevators that would release them right into the middle of the Colosseum. Thomas Jefferson liked this Roman temple so much that he used its design to model public buildings in America. The Pantheon is a special building because it is one of the first to have a large dome ceiling. Many churches built since that time have copied this high dome style. Streets like this one in Pompeii were paved with large stones and had shops on both sides. The Appian Way is such an excellent road that even today modern cars can still drive on parts of it. Imagine driving on a road that was once used by chariots. The Romans believed that form and function were equally important. This means they wanted their aqueducts to work well and look good.
In the Greek and the Roman period, they did everything under the sun. A Grecian galley boat sailed by and chariot races were run. See the wooden coins and the statues make noise, the helmets and the shields are fun. Zeus worked out till he looked quite stout, and Brutus had a big loud mouth. The Trojan horse is famous, of course, and Caesar had a wonderful son.
In Roman mythology, Janus was known as the god of doorways and good beginnings. The month of January was named after Janus to start the year off right. Happy New Year!
matey.
The fastest Greek ship was called a trireme. It was so big that it took 170 men to row it.
The most common things left over from the classic Greek period of art are their columns, which were used to support buildings and sculptures and decorate interiors. The three basic styles of columns are Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian.